All right, hello, everybody. Going to take a second here to finish getting everything set up. But everything looks good out there so far. We are live for our evening coverage here. There we go, and it looks like we're good to go here. Let's give it a few seconds for everybody to get in. Okay. All right. We'll be doing news roundup. We're also going to be keeping an eye out for storms as well. We've got some tornado warnings, and we're going to be checking those here in just a second. A quick look there on the radar. That's down here where we're at. We've got lots of rain here. We've had over an inch today, and they're expecting a couple more inches tomorrow down through our area. North of us, near Tampa, and points north like Big Bend, Cedar Key, they're expecting a lot more rain, probably 3 to 5 inches in that area. So lots of rain going on right now. Now let's take the tornado warnings. Well, guess what? They're all in Canada. So let's go take a look and see what's going on up here in Canada. So there we go. We've got a couple of cells that are coming together there, doing their thing. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, there is some rotation in there, probably a couple of different couplets to watch. But we have no storm chasers up there, unfortunately, and no cameras. But we are going to continue to watch this one. Let's see what happens with it. And then the other ones are, what did they duplicate them up? Yeah, this is it. It's just those two. In Canada, they get all messed up coming through the international system. We do have a couple of storms over here in Northern California. And these are some pop-up cells. A couple of them look like might be supercells, moving from southwest to northeast, and we'll watch for those to become tornadic. Let's see if we've got an area we're watching tonight. Is this area right here in the green circle? However, it should be noted it is the lowest of the 5 warnings, so not a real big chance for really bad weather tonight. And I'm looking around. I don't see that many storm chasers. In fact, I only see one over here, and he looks like he's on standby. There is a pretty good line of storms coming. That's Storm Runner Media, but he's got his camera off and he's stationary. Or no, actually he's moving, but he's got his camera off. I don't know what's going on there. He's moving down this way. Is this another? No, that's a cam. I'm trying to see. There's no other cams out in front of this one either, unfortunately. And I don't really see any other storm chasers. '91. Way up there, it's 91. We got lots of rain down here, that's for sure. All right, so let's give it a few minutes. Let me get my screen up so I can check my chats. By the way, we're currently broadcasting 5 live streams out of the studio. 4 of them are on this channel. We've got up the Los Angeles police scanner, the Baltimore police scanner, the Chicago police scanner, and then we also have on this live feed here. So not many people finding us yet. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think I'm going to go put it in the other chat rooms that we are live, because I don't think people are finding us or something, which is the case sometimes. Sometimes YouTube sends out notifications, sometimes they don't. Sometimes YouTube is good about getting your video out, and a lot of times it's not. And so There you go. All right, I'm in here now. Nope, that's not it. Jesus. Okay, yeah, I see you guys in there. Brandon, Violence. There you go. That's a hell of a screen name. And Ding Ding, thank you all for being here tonight. And yep, happy 4th Eve, I guess you would call it. 4th of July Eve. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of rain down here tomorrow. They've already canceled 3 parades tomorrow. They've canceled or delayed several fireworks displays, and we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with some of the other stuff that's going on out there. So, yeah, I don't know. The problem is down here, you know, and when it decides to do this tropical thing, boy, it does it. Okay, let me just throw this in here. I just want to make sure there's not people waiting in this other the other 3 chat rooms. I wish there was a way to tie the 3 chat rooms together into one big chat room, but there, to my knowledge, there is no way to do that. Of course, then again, it's pretty unusual for someone to live stream 4 streams at one time. I plan to be doing 6 or 8 here before long. Thank you all you guys that went through and liked and subscribed on all the different videos. I appreciate that. It sure helps. All right, so here we go. Well, I appreciate that, Brandon. I really do. I do really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys like it. I mean, if you guys want, if there's people that are willing to watch, then I'm willing to come on. Let's do it. You know, we are watching on the split cam. We've got the world cam up where we're zooming all around the world so they can see what's going on out there. And then we got the I don't know why that says Washington, D.C. That's quite obviously Times Square. Anyway, that's Times Square. And then on the upper right, you've got Carlotta Alada's channel. That's the frog cam. I just scared them all off because I went out there and cleaned everything up. But they'll be back. I mean, they're already coming back. I see 3 or 4 of them up there. And then there's a live shot of D.C. Where they've got the White House tonight is going to be illuminated in red, white, and blue. And we've got a live shot of that there on the center right. And then the lower right, this is that SoCal, I think it's called SoCal. He's got a channel, and he's always going to these protests. The problem is he's always driving to the protest. He never actually gets there. So I don't know. Again, tonight we're driving to a protest. I think it's a sham. I really do. But we'll see what's going on. We'll give it a few minutes. There is a lot of fake stuff on tonight. I saw one channel that says Israel invaded, thousands dead, and that's a YouTube channel. It's literally a description, and I'm like, wow, okay, that's interesting. And then they're showing looped video that's from like weeks ago, and I really think that's bad. I think it's bad business. $250 years. Can you believe it? Oh God, no! I'm not going to get political. Sometimes I read something political and I'm like, I almost just open my mouth and say something. Let's see if I can get this video to come up for you guys. All right, hang in there. I'm going to set this video up for you. So, A small aircraft in South Carolina, I guess, lands in people's yard. Hold on, I got it coming. Here we go. There's the video. Let's see. Let me get it to where it'll play for you guys. Just sound like an old barrel flipping over. Looks like the end of a runway, if I had to guess. That definitely looks like the end of a runway there. Here he comes again from the right. And it looks like he did not have near enough lift. He pulled up on it there at the last second, and the plane went, no. It don't look like he was going fast enough to get enough lift. I mean, if I had to guess. Anyway, so there you go, guys. There's your plane crash of the day. I guess any crash you walk away from is a good crash. I think I said that last night, too. Okay, let's see here. What food chain is this? Roy Rogers is eyeing a comeback as they open a Cherry Hill location as part of a strategic expansion plan across multiple states. Roy Rogers. I didn't even know they were still around. We never had them down here, so I'm familiar with the chain, but we never had them down here. I'm kind of surprised to see that. Hey, Ding Ding. It's the night before a holiday, so I'm not expecting a lot of numbers. I will let you guys know, and I'm going to repeat this over and over tonight. I will be on tomorrow night, but I will not be on Saturday night. I will be on Sunday night, okay? So kind of the usual set. But tomorrow night, I'm going to come on a little early, and I'm going to do a special 4th of July show. We're going to watch fireworks. I'm going to have up views of fireworks all over the place, and we're going to make it like a little bit of a celebratory night. And we're going to have a good time with it. I will do that. I will speak to her after the show, and I will pass that along. I have a funny feeling she'll probably stop by before the show's over. Hey, Aquarius, Victor, Brandon, Ding Ding. I appreciate all you guys coming in. And Victor, of course. Wow. Okay, so then basically that's the setup for tonight. We have the possibility of some severe weather, but not much. Not a big high chance. Lots of rain across Florida. The one thing we are going to be talking tonight is tropics. We do have a situation in the tropics that does need to be discussed. It's not going to be a big situation. I don't want anybody to think that anybody's going to it's going to be huge, but we're now looking at what could be the formation of the first Atlantic Basin tropical storm of 2025. It'll be the A storm, and looks to form right off the coast of Florida and then move up towards the Outer Banks and then out to sea. Is this a big deal? No, not really. It's going to be a rain event for the Outer Banks. But I don't really see it as being that big a deal. None of the models make this anything more than just a weak tropical storm. We do have a spaghetti model run on it that I'm trying to get to pull up here. Yeah, it's not a very good one, but I'll show you what I got. This is the latest spaghetti models. And here we go. Bing. You can see there, a lot of the models don't even pick it up. The ones that stay gray all the way out don't pick it up. The ones that turn blue pick it up. And actually, there's a few there that show a hurricane. One shows a hurricane right near the Outer Banks, but that's an outlier. That's an outlier. Over half of them don't even have Genesis at this point. So, but still worth watching, could be a developing almost hurricane as it pulls away from the Outer Banks. This is not that uncommon of a scenario, actually. We see this scenario every couple of years with a storm that's strengthening right as it begins to pull away near the Outer Banks. Atmospherically speaking, this is a phenomenon that seems to happen, repetitively anyway. So anyway, let's go back and take a look and see what else is going on out there. Yeah, they're not issuing They're not issuing invests on this yet, which means that I don't have any extended information. What I could do is run the models with you guys. I do like running the models, but I need to set this up here real quick. Okay. All right, so here is our GFS model. This is the American model, as they call it, and we're going to go forward in time. Now, I want you to notice that we already have a deepening low right around the Big Bend area of Florida. And now I'm going to, go away. I'm going to start moving this forward. And you can see there in 2 frames by tomorrow morning, it's 1,013 millibars, and it's sitting right off of the Space Coast. And then it starts to pull north. And then that one shows it zigzagging back down again. So in other words, it's basically going to be stationary off the coast of Florida. That's what when it starts blipping around like that, that's usually means it's going to be kind of stationary there for a day or so, right there off the coast of Florida. And then eventually here, this is July 5th, this is late Saturday, still sitting off the coast of Florida, still sitting off of St. Aug and Jax. And then we're pulling north now, finally starting to pull out. And this one shows it weakening, but then stalling again and trying to form a low pressure again. You can see why the models are trying to pick up on something up there. So wow, that was a little interesting. Let's go back to, let's pull up the Euro and see what we got with the Euro. Okay, let's pull this and let's run this forward in time. There we go. It's sitting off the Big Bend, and it crosses over into the Atlantic at 1,014 millibars. Hey, Red and Carl, what you guys doing tonight? Junior, thank you all for being here. Let's see here. Let's keep on going. Look at this. It just, there again, this one is showing the same thing. This is a completely different set of models. And it's showing that stall. Look at that. Wow. You don't normally see a stall like that. Holy shit. That stalls that off the coast for 60 hours, 72 hours. And then finally here, Sunday at 9 a.m. Sunday at 9 a.m., it starts to move north. And then just washes out. Ooh, this is going to be interesting to see what this does. Let's see if the CMC is picking up on that stall. As you guys know, or may know, with hurricanes and tropical storms, a stalled storm is a dangerous storm. It's always like when you have a ladder, when the ladder is straight up in the air as high as it goes, that's when it's the most unstable. It's the same thing with a situation like this. Um, and if you've got three models that are all picking up the same thing, so here we go. This is the gym, and there it is. That is tomorrow 6 a.m. and it shows it lingering in the Gulf side through Saturday overnight, Friday night into Saturday, then finally crossing the state midday on July 5th, Saturday, and then finally emerging into the Atlantic and then washing out. And then ending up back up here again in Virginia at 1,012 millibars and then washing out. Nice. So that's interesting. This is the same thing. It just the presentation's a little different. This is called the icon, and let's run this through. Here's tomorrow morning. There it is. Jumps right over, and then it sits. See that? It sits from 9 in the morning Zulu on Friday to 3 in the afternoon on Sunday. So what that means is that we could have a prolonged situation here where this thing literally just sits there and rains itself out over North Florida and Georgia and South Carolina. Look at that. It just sits there and sits there. It persists. All right, so anyway, that's an interesting development. We're going to have to see. I want to watch that. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let me check the chat. I don't do melons. Well, except the one kind, but let's not discuss that. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got 4 different broadcasts going out right now. I've got the Baltimore City Scanner, the Chicago City Scanner, and I've got the Los Angeles Scanner. And I did get this computer working. I still have one screen that's not coming up. So I'm going to work on that. This will be my project tomorrow morning. Once I get the gold computer back up, I'm going to be putting up another one, probably either Philadelphia. I'm looking at Philadelphia or Atlanta or something like that. Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, there is nothing out there right now. It's clear. And yeah, I think it looks good. It does help to just take a peek and make sure. All right, and oh crap, I forgot to switch it back over to the other screen. I'm sitting here looking stuff up. There we go. It's a good thing I didn't have my bank information up there. All right, so yeah, for Los Angeles, or that area, Southern California, looks good tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. No rain. Less than a 7% chance of rain through the next 36 hours. So definitely looks pretty good down there, I would say. All right, here we go. No, there's no protests. I've already looked. Nothing in this country. I can't find a single live video or any news reporting any protests or anything. I mean, I think that's pretty much over for a while until something happens to spur it up again. Are you talking about the BBB bill? The big beautiful bill? Because it's done. It passed. It's done deal. Let's see here. All right, I'm going through everything to see what else there is to report here. What is the crunchy teen trend? What the hell is that? I don't even know what that means. Sometimes I feel old. I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. The latest, I do want to tell you guys on that. Remember the fire, the fireworks factory fire? There's been an update on that. I do believe there's 7 missing here. Let's see. Let me get this over here so I can read it to you guys. Yolo County said it's offering hotels and food vouchers to the families of 7 people who are missing. In a quiet stretch of Yolo County, flashing lights and road closure signs still block any view Thursday of the wreckage of the fireworks warehouse that exploded earlier this week, leaving 7 people unaccounted for. The scene of devastation, once too dangerous for crews to even enter, was finally accessible to fire crews on Thursday, 2 days after the deadly blast that residents say shook their homes and shattered lives. Among those waiting in anguish is Johnny Ramos. His 18-year-old son, Jesus, and 22-year-old son, Johnny, are still missing. Speaking in Spanish, Ramos said there couldn't be a more cruel death and believes their bodies may still be burned in the rubble. Yolo County said they are providing, I said that already, Esposito Fire Chief Esparto, I think it is. Fire Chief Curtis Lawrence confirmed more responders are arriving as the area becomes safe to navigate. Our objective is to make the area safe so that we can continue to bring more crews in. Over the evening and into the morning, we've had several more responders moving into the area, and our operation is starting to get larger. Still, local officials are facing the growing frustration over the lack of answers. The Board of Supervisors is working with our department heads, our county administration, and our law enforcement agencies to ensure that the ordinance, policies, and procedures were followed. Sounds to me like it sounds kind of guilty to me there. I must ask and beg for your patience as we work through the scene. The team of the public safety professionals who are working at the scene right now are doing everything they can to bring those answers and closure to everyone involved. Meanwhile, neighbors are still assessing the physical toll. One neighbor said she heard the explosion very hard, and I felt the wall of the house shaking. When he returned Thursday, he found his home without power. Nearly all of his windows were shattered, and his household items were knocked off on the floor. He said nothing's good happened to him in the last 2 days. Law enforcement is yet to confirm the cause of the explosion. Officials have declined to take questions in press briefings. I hate that. It's like, you talk to the public. You work for us. We pay you. You talk to us. When I start seeing public officials being evasive in press conferences, man, it pisses me off. Because I used to be a cop. I used to be a firefighter. I was a PIO for a fire department. And I know fact certain 90% of the time when they tell you they can't tell you something, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. They don't tell you because they don't have to tell you. They don't tell you because they don't feel like they work for you. They don't tell you because they don't believe that they need to explain anything to you. And that's bullshit. I'm sick of this. No matter whether it's the LA fires or the plane crash in DC or whether it's the whatever, anything that's going on, all right? Officials won't say a word. Officials won't say a word. I had a guy that told me a while back that he worked at the FBI press office. And I laughed in his face, and he goes, "What's so funny?" I said, "How can an agency that's never told anyone anything about anything need a press office? Why would you even need a press office? What you do tell us is lies and bullshit, and you don't tell us much of anything. Even our local government's bad about it. Our local sheriff here, he doesn't feel like he has to tell us anything. And he doesn't. He blocked off Summerlin Road, a big, huge highway in our town, for 36 hours and never told us why. And then finally later on, there was some guy got shot in his car, and we just didn't want to let it out what was going on. Bullshit. All right? They could have let that information out. It made no difference on the prosecution. 90% of the time, when law enforcement tells you they can't tell you what's going on or they can't give you any information because it will compromise the scene, read them. Bullshit. It's bullshit, okay? The government can tell you 90+% more than they do, okay? The fire department generally never has a reason to not tell you something unless it's private to the family that just got their house burned down. They generally have no reason to ever not tell you anything. But they'll always come out, we have no comment at this time. No comment at this time. You work for us. We pay not only you, but we pay that asshole over there to be a public information officer. We actually pay a firefighter to tell us what's going on, and he's not telling us. And it just drives me nuts because I was a PIO and now I work for the media, and I've seen this from both sides. And I'm telling you, law enforcement and the fire departments, and they all treat us like absolute shit when it comes to information delineation. They treat us like crap. I'm telling you. They could tell you what's going on. They just don't. It's like law enforcement encrypting their radio channels. There's pushback on that right now. Los Angeles County Police and LAPD, both unencrypted because of pushback on transparency. When your police department encrypts, we got to push back. We got to get that encryption out. We need to be able to hear what those people are doing. We're paying them, and they don't do a good job policing themselves. We know that to be a fact. All right? I mean, I'm not anti-police at all. I was one, okay? That's part of where my frustration comes from, because I know that they know better. All I see departments doing now is protecting themselves. All I see departments doing is protecting themselves from lawsuits and protecting themselves for this, that, not telling nobody nothing, not ever releasing nothing. They'll have a body cam video of something. They'll wait 6 months to release it. And they'll only release it when you've requested 5 times and threatened 2 lawsuits. You'll finally get your body cam footage. You have to force compliance. You have to force transparency. It's terrible. I don't know, it's terrible. I don't know what we're going to do. Okay, it looks like that lower right camera went out, so I'm going to find something else to go in that hole real quick. If you guys have anything you want me to talk about tonight, please put it in the chat. You're both right. You're both right. I was a full-time firefighter for 17 years. I rose through the ranks. I volunteered for 2 years before I became paid. Then I did it paid for 17. I worked my way up through the ranks, volunteer, paid firefighter, engineer, lieutenant, all the way up, deputy chief, and I served for 2.5 years as the chief. My back was ruined. They offered me a buyout, and I took it. We're going to get to that speeding object through the solar system. We're going to get to that coming up in a few minutes. And so I took the out. I took the 17 and out. And then I did odd jobs for a little while, and I walked in. I finally got sick of it and walked into my radio station where I work, because I listen to that station every day. I listen to Coast every night. And so I walked in there with a suit on, and they gave me a job. And so I'm now coming up on 14 years into my second career. So I was a cop, but only part-time. I was certified, but I was only part-time. I was an auxiliary deputy sheriff. I did all the same things the regular guys did. I just only did it part-time. I was also an emergency manager and also a dispatcher. and a comm specialist with emergency management. Yeah, I think you're right, Glass. If they're not lying, they're not doing their job. That's the way they look at it. That's the way they look at it. I guarantee it. I know. We can go ahead and talk about that now. Let me go ahead and pull up my. Yeah, I already did this whole thing, so let me just go ahead and pull it up here. Oh, posts. I posted about this earlier. That's why I'm just gonna. My post was better than any of the other ones I read, so I figured I'll use it. Okay, let's talk about interstellar object A11PL3Z. It is. This is something kind of cool. It's important, and it might be very interesting. This object is entering our solar system. And it's exciting news for the scientific community because this newly discovered object, originally designated A11PL3Z, is not just another rogue rock in space. Remember, most everything we see in space, right, is from here. Okay? It's from Sol. It's from our solar system. It's matter that was of us, that's from here. This is only the third time in recorded human history that we know of something coming into our solar system from outside. So you can see why it's important that we look at this. It's exhibiting signs of being a comet. What does that mean? It means it shows a nucleus with an atmosphere instead of just a tumbling rock. It's now officially named 31 Atlas. I guess that is 31 Atlas. I guess. Or is that an L, a small L? I don't know. But anyway, by the International Astronomical Union's Minor Planet Center. Because it has an atmosphere, it's a comet. It's kind of like a mini planet. This marks only the third time that confirmed interstellar object in recorded human history has been seen. But unlike the enigmatic other ones which show no comet or no tail or no atmosphere, this one does. It already has demonstrated a key signature of a traditional comet, outgassing. When something off-gasses or outgasses, and then begins to retain some of that around itself, that's a comet. It's exhibiting both a coma, which is a diffuse cloud of gas that surrounds the nucleus like an atmosphere. They call it a coma. And it also is exhibiting a visible tail, indicating that it is composed of volatile material that are sublimating as it approaches the sun. As it gets closer to our sun, the heat is slowly building up, and it begins to change the state of the mass as it begins to warm. What makes this interstellar? The object's trajectory is unmistakably hyperbolic, meaning that it is not gravitationally bound to our sun. Analysis of its orbit reveals that it's an eccentricity significantly greater than 1, confirming that it is not a solar system object returning from our Oort cloud or returning from a long elliptical orbit. Instead, it's on a one-way trip, blazing through our planetary neighborhood before heading back out into the void between stars for another 50,000 or 100,000 years before its next close encounter. How cool is that? The eccentricity is 1.01 hyperbolic. The inclination is 82 degrees. That's way too high. That's way too highly inclined to be an elliptical plane. Again, it's on a very strange orbit. Closest approach to the sun will be 6 AU. 0.6 AU. That's pretty close. Now you probably ask, what the hell is an AU? An AU is an astronomical unit that is describing a distance in space. When we measure distance in space, we use lunar distance. Okay? Lunar distance gives us that distance between the moon and Earth. That's one lunar distance. If it's 10 LD, that's 10 times the distance between our surface and the surface of the moon. If it is an AU, that's one astronomical unit. An astronomical unit is the distance between the Earth and the sun on an average orbit, the distance between the Earth and the sun. And then what's the big one is a light year. And a light year is measured using the distance that light can travel in 1 year. When you hear somebody, one of the biggest confusions people have about space shows is they hear light year, and they think that means a year. It doesn't. A light year is a measure of speed. If you're traveling 1 light year, you are traveling exactly the speed of light. If you're traveling at warp 2, it's 2 times 2 the speed of light. And it goes up from there. So basically, I don't know how to explain it other than it takes light so long to travel so many years. It takes the light from our star 6 or 8 years just to travel to the closest known solar system. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. So when you hear somebody say it's 5 light years away, that means that it's 5 years away if you're traveling at the speed of light. Now, if you're traveling at 10 times the speed of light, it's only 0.5 years away. It's a lot less. So that's your 3 units. You've got lunar distance, astronomical units, and you've got the light year. And what we're talking about here is 0.6 astronomical units. So this thing is going to be almost half between us and the sun. It's going to pass almost between us and the sun, distance-wise. I don't know where we'll be in the orbit and all that, but distance-wise, it'll pass through a lot closer to the sun than we're ever going to get in our life. I can tell you that. It's basically like a frozen ambassador from another star, which I think is really cool. The initial spectral analysis of the coma suggests the presence of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and possibly organic compounds. They call that the elements of life. That's interesting. This thing, if nothing else, it's a history book. If nothing else, it's a look into the past. We have to get this thing. I wish we could go capture it. But it's going so fast, I don't think we could catch it. I mean, we'd have to launch something before we even knew it was coming to get something in position. And the way space dynamics works, even if we caught up with it, I mean, because here's the thing, you can't fly straight towards it. They would smash into each other at 10,000 miles an hour or something. You would have to go past it and turn around, or you would have to go out so far and turn around and let it slowly catch up beside you. But then what? You gonna try to get a sample of it? It's kind of big to be trying to capture it, and the kind of energy it would take to do that. We would never be able to blast into space, so it's not going to happen. But I would love to get a piece of this thing. I'd love to get a sample, even of the coma, because this thing actually is showing all the signs that it came from a place that has all of the things necessary for carbon-based life, which is what we are. This formed in a completely different stellar nursery, perhaps billions of years ago. This didn't just come from another solar system. It came from another quadrant of the galaxy. It may have come from another galaxy a billion years ago. We have no idea. They call it they're calling it, I think it's 3I Atlas. They're calling it Atlas. Or 3L. I don't know. Why would it be a small L? It must be a capital I. It's 3I Atlas. It's the third interstellar object that we've tracked in human history. Its structure and behavior may offer unprecedented insights into the chemistry of other star systems. That's how incredibly significant this is. Everything we study in space is from here. It all came from here. It all spun around this star. I mean, granted, we probably originally came from the same place, but these things actually came from some other place. And the information they would hold could be fatal. We could bring that stuff back. I mean, how many sci-fi movies have been done about that? We could bring this shit back and it could kill us all. Because it's so exotic. If there was some kind of organic matter, which is highly unlikely, this thing's been traveling for a very long time between stars. This was spotted, it was detected by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Laser Alert System, or ATLAS, at NASA's funded project. And that's why it got the name 3L Atlas. They're the ones that saw it first. It is typical that when a new comet or asteroid is seen, they will name it after the scientist that spotted it or the organization that funded it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of them where we come back with something. There was a few where they brought something back from another place and they came down here and it got away and all that. That happens. And I don't know. You got to be careful. When you deal with something from out of the solar system, it truly is exotic. You know, you think it's exotic traveling from here to Thailand. Try traveling 100 billion miles away, 100 billion light years away, to a totally different sun in a totally different universe that has totally different gravity and totally different physical dynamics and a totally different laws of physics. Think about it. It could be crazy what we could find if we could get this thing. I wish we could. I keep hoping maybe they'll have more technology than we think we do, and maybe they can go get this thing. The confirmation, let's see, interstellar chemistry. This gives science a rare example of matter formed beyond the sun's influence. Solar system comparison. It provides data to compare against local comet trail material. So in other words, everything we see on this comet, we got to compare it to what we already know, basically. And it's going to be cool because it is, like I said, it's truly exotic. Another thing that they would like to test, it is widely believed that organic matter has traveled through the stars. I don't know if that's even possible. But if it was possible, this is how it would happen. So think about that for a minute. Astronomers are now mobilizing ground and space-based telescopes. They're going to be doing all kinds of multispectral observations. They've pushed into service the James Webb Space Telescope. They're looking for detailed spectra of the coma gases. They've also got SHOHO and Stereo. Those are two of our spacecraft, our solar monitoring spacecraft that we have out there. And they're going to be monitoring its solar passage. And then we've got ground-based surveys, a continuing orbital refinement of monitor fragmentation risk. They're going to They're going to be monitoring this thing from everywhere, and they're going to try to gather every piece of information they possibly can on it. They're going to be publishing soon what they know already, and also the charts of where it's going to be going through the solar system. It's a moment for the ages. The odds of witnessing an interstellar comet in a single lifetime are astronomically low. Yet here we are. This event reminds us that the space between stars is not empty, but populated with ancient travelers like this particular one here, carrying with them the secrets of their home system. We will be following the journey of this rock, I guess, 3L, 3I, as it swings through our skies. Stay tuned to Starship Adventures, and we'll get you more information. I will continue covering this. I'm going to continue to cover this because I think this is important, because it's not only a great scientific experiment, but we may even be able to see this thing with our naked eyes at some point as it comes through. And this will be, I want you to think about this, if you can see this, even if you have to use a pair of binoculars or a telescope, you are seeing something that came from another star. You're seeing something that's been traveling through space for hundreds of thousands of years. It's a unique opportunity. At least I think it is. I think it's pretty damn cool, actually. All right, what do we got out there? What do you guys have? Anything? Let me take a look in the chat and see where we're at. We don't know where it came from. It's an interstellar traveler. It came from outside our solar system, way outside our solar system. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what it is. There's a very small chance that it's going to bring on the end of the world. I mean, I don't even think that's a possibility. But I mean, there is your goomers out there. But right now, I think the main thing is it's a great opportunity for scientific research more than anything else. I do appreciate you guys putting my other links in there and giving me a thumbs up and a subscribe and all that good stuff. Maximum Overdrive, Junior, that is a great science fiction movie. I'm glad you brought it up. Maximum Overdrive is a really, really good movie. It was a I can't type tonight. All right. In 1986, they came out with a movie called Maximum Overdrive. And it was a movie basically about a time when the Earth was going to pass through the tail of a comet. Which brings me to another movie, Night of the Comet, and I'll get to that next because they're both excellent movies. I want to put that in too before I forget. Okay, so in '86 they came out with this movie. Had a bunch of stars in it. Emilio Estevez. And they basically, it was written by Stephen King. I mean, it's a Stephen King movie. So you know it's good. Basically, the Earth passes through a comet tail. And all of the machines come to life and start killing us for all the stuff we did to them over the years. And the entire movie is set to AC/DC soundtrack. And it is really good. Who Made Who and all the good songs. I mean, it was great. Remember that song, Who Made Who? That was from this movie. And anyway, I absolutely love this movie. I would recommend it. It's from '86, which means you can probably watch it for free if you look around for it. Anyway, a bunch of people end up at this truck stop. And the trucks are all circling the truck stop because they want to kill him. Anyway, you got to watch it. It's a Stephen King flick. It's really good. The other one I want to bring up is called Night of the Comet. And here, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put a link into the first one here so you guys can check it out on IMBD. There's a little promo there you can see. Anyway, the second one is going to be Night of the Comet. And I really like this one too. This movie here was set on a couple of teens. And these teens were basically their planet, our planet, in that movie went through the tail of a comet. And when it did, all the people turned to dust. And you know what it reminded me of? Do you guys remember Omega Glory, the original series episode Omega Glory, where they went over to the what ship was it? It was I can't remember. Anyway, they beam over to the other ship that's in orbit around, and all the crew, it's just uniforms with like powder and crystals coming out of the uniforms. That freaked me out when I was a kid. But in this movie, the same thing happens. Everybody that was outside, now the only people that were spared were people that were in steel enclosed rooms. Like the one girl was in a projector hall where they were projecting a movie, and those rooms are steel or whatever. Anyway, the long story of it is these three people end up the last people on Earth, and then you find out there's a few people that survived over here and over here. Anyway, what's really cool about this movie is the guy that plays in this movie plays Chakotay on Voyager. Beltram, Robert Beltram, plays one of the stars in Night of the Comet. Before he started on Voyager. Night of the Comet was 1984. And it was directed by Tom Ebert. And he also wrote the movie as well. It starred Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Moray and Robert Beltran. And there you go. It was a great movie. My wife and I, this is on our top 50 list, just so you guys know. My wife and I each have a movie top 50 list. And then we combine that list, and it's like 25 movies that we both have on our top 50 list. And that, man, that's a list of really good movies. I should publish that at some point. All right. But anyway, yeah, those are two really good movies that kind of show, you know, what happened there. Yeah, Robert Beltram, he was Chakotay. Never thought they gave him any good scripts to read. I liked the guy. I liked his acting. A lot of people say, oh, he's fake. I don't like it. Look, let me tell you, he's a good actor. I think the writing was the problem with him. I don't like some of the writing they had for him. Yes, the think tank. They were a group of people that were underground, and they somehow got partially exposed because they left fans on or something. And they got partially exposed. And then they were trying to get these people that weren't exposed to try to figure out how to save themselves, I think is how that went. Airborne fungi. Yep, that had Chakotay. Yep, it was good. 2001, A Space Oddity. Good movie. I prefer 2010. 2001's a little too cerebral for me. And it also drags quite a bit, but the story is great. The writing is good, and I like where they went with it. But then when you bring 2010, A Space 2010, that movie was really good. That had the guy from Jaws in it, and it was good because they were on a Russian ship, and remember, us and the Russians weren't getting along. And at one point, they told them, you guys go to your ship and come home, and they're going to go to their ship and come home. And they're like, but we can't do that because we're going to need one ship to get us so far, and then we're going to have to leave that behind and take the other ship the rest of the way. And they ended up having to work together in order to live. Yeah, D-Glass, there's definitely, I see what you're saying, and I do agree to quite a bit of that. Yes, I do. I agree. I can't argue with you. It became, yeah, he was the foil to season 4, and then I think the Borg became the foil, and Chakotay became the third wheel. Would you agree with that? he was the foil for 3 seasons, and then he became the tool. He became the fifth wheel, the guy that's hanging around with nothing to do. And 7 of 9 became the foil for Janeway, I think. But that's just me. I was never much on 7 of 9, the character. I wasn't even that much on the actress, although I have warmed to her over time. I like her as a person. I like her as an actress now. I think it was because I don't like when they over-sexualize Star Trek. I just, it's like our ratings are down a little, show more skin. Our ratings are down a little, bigger boobs. Our ratings are down a little, more belly with we want to see the whole belly. It needs to be really thin down there. Our ratings are down a little. More legs. We need legs. The ratings are down a little. You kind of see the point. And that's what was going on. After the 3rd season, they had weak ratings. And they had to shore those ratings up. So what they ended up doing to shore those ratings up was they let Kes go. Kes was the weakest character. I like her and her character. I feel bad for her. She's had a rough life since that show, the woman that played her. But they let her go after 3 seasons because she was a weak character. The character didn't test well. The character wasn't written well for. The character, how often can you even use the character? They made her the doctor's assistant literally to give her something to do because she can't go on away teams. She only lives 3 years and she don't know how to hold a phaser. So I don't, yeah. Yes, I remember Skylab, absolutely. It was a cooperative project between us and the Russians. I don't know if I want sci-fi movies to come to real life. I guess if it's Star Trek, yes. All the other ones are bad. Every Star Trek movie, every sci-fi movie ever made, with the exception of Star Trek, was about the end of the world, pretty much. I so much prefer non-dystopian writing. Yep, Night of the Comet. What a good movie that was. So anyway, tonight on Coast to Coast, George Norrie is going to have on Jerome Corsi. He received his PhD from Harvard University Department of Government in 1972. He's going to discuss the state of the world, the times we are living in, and why escalation occurs. He'll also talk about the prospects of peace. That's fun to talk about. Second half, author Chris Lee will discuss Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and social impacts of the old Godzilla and King Kong movies and the Universal horror movies. He'll also delve into those who are fans of the fantasy and adventure genre and why monsters have had so much impact on pulp culture over the years. Basically, the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot are 2 examples of cryptozoological creatures. That, just so you guys know a new word tonight, if you didn't know that one already. A cryptid or cryptozoological is something that is, it's a creature that mythically believed, that we believe it exists, but we have no scientific proof. It's not fantasy, it's not reality, it lives somewhere in between. It lives in that spot where we think it's real. We actually find things every now and then that would tend to lead us to believe that it's real, but yet, strangely, we've never found one dead. We've never caught one. We've never shot one. With all these idiots and their guns, we've never shot one. I'm cool with guns. Don't get me wrong. I own my own guns and everything. But the point is these guys that would go out in the woods with shotguns and chase, they almost killed each other one night on that stupid show. I used to watch because I was watching for them to kill each other. I couldn't believe that these guys are running around the woods with shotguns looking for Bigfoot. Don't you think some hunter would have shot him by now? What are the odds you're going to run into him? It literally is a derived show about nothing for nothing, and people watch it. Anyway, I do believe there's something to the phenomenon of Bigfoot. I believe it's extraterrestrial, or whatever. But I don't believe that it is just a creature out there. I miss Art Bell too, but I really like George. I've become a big George Norrie fan over the years. I had a chance to actually interview him on my radio station here, and I've listened to him for many, many years, and I really, really like George Norrie. But Art Bell he's the OG. Are you kidding me? Running around the woods drunk with TV cameras, hunting Bigfoot with a bunch of dumb friends that are dumber than you are. Sounds like a Saturday night plan to me, Bubba. That's right. I'm taking shotguns, and I'm gonna go out there. Got some big old bright lights like we used to go gigging them frogs, and I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna find that big son bitch. So I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna shoot him dead. That's what I'm gonna do. And no skeletal remains. We've never found skeletal remains. That's what I mean. They're here, but they can't actually be here now, can they? So it has to be an explanation that starts with the word extra. Junior, I think you're right. I lean towards extra dimensional, but yet extra temporal is a possibility. If you look back in time 100,000 years, what are you going to see? Bigfoot. Because that's what we all looked like back then. So if this is a temporal anomaly, if we're just seeing a glimpse of the past, maybe that explains why we're always seeing these big hairy creatures of different shapes, sizes, and colors, but mostly kind of the same. I think it washes. I do. I think it really washes. Oh man. I gotta get me shotgun. An angry Forrest Gump. That did sound kind of like an angry Forrest Gump. Don't you ever mess with Jenny again. Yeah, something like that. Life is like a box of chocolates, and then I kicked your ass. Bigfoot documentary. Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah, that was probably the best one they've had so far. Oh, my Lord. Incredible. I know. I have a hard time with it because people take it. They're like, oh, my God. It exists. It's real. It's real. And if you say it's not real, you're an asshole. Well, no, dude. I'm a scientist. I try very hard in my life to be scientific. I approach things scientifically. The whole time I was a ghost hunter, I approached it scientifically. Drove my people nuts. They wanted some guy that was going to go, look, it's a ghost. It's a big old scary ghost. And I won't do that. I would spend 3 days trying to debunk their picture. And then we'd show back up the following week and try to recreate the whole situation again. I'm trying to get a repeatable offense. An event. A repeatable event. And most ghost hunters don't want nothing to do with science. They just want to run around like Jason and Grant or Mr. Spock, whichever you prefer. Scanning, if you will. I had one investigator that used to carry he used to carry this EMF detector around like a tricorder. And I used to always ask him, I'm like, are you scanning for life forms with that thing? Pesky little life forms. Boom. Where are you? Name the movie. 10 points. 10 points. All right. Let's see what else we got going on tonight. I'm going to look real quick for, see if I can find any other videos out here that we can change out a few videos with. That is a live drive down there, but I guess he never found anything to go look at because he never found anything. Oh, Talking Life with Nick is live. She's a friend of ours. We help each other out when we can. She just does evening talks. She has a small audience, and she just likes it. She raises chickens, and she has a little farm, and it's a lot of fun. You guys should, I'll go over and give her a like and tell her I sent you over. I'd appreciate it. Her name is Nick, and it's called Talking Life with Nick. And like I said, she does all kinds of stuff in there. She's got Peggy in there now. They were both in here the other night. We all help each other out. All right, Star Trek Generations. There you go, Mark. That would be 10 points for you, sir. That was Data on the emotion chip. If you remember when he was asked at the helm console to scan for life forms, he starts going, life forms, beep, beep, beep. And he's like playing the tune with the buttons on. It was funny. It was a little dumb, but it was funny. It was not too dumb. It was just dumb enough. The emotion chip with Data got a little old in that movie. The fact that they didn't have enough uniforms made and they had to borrow some from Deep Space Nine, that bugged me too. You know, they literally didn't have the uniforms done in time. You know, they shot Generations. They were starting to shoot Generations while they were still shooting The Best of Both Worlds, which is the finale of the 7th season of the show. When they were shooting that finale, they already had the scripts for Generations, and when they were finishing shooting on Best of Both Worlds, the two-part episode, the two-part finale for the entire thing, when they were shooting that, they were already doing read-throughs and starting on the movie. They were already working for 2 different productions at the same time, basically. Same company, but 2 different productions. And they literally, when they went into production for that movie, they didn't have the uniforms. There was some snafu. I don't know what it was. They didn't have enough uniforms. So you know what they did? They went over and borrowed uniforms. I actually saw a thing a while back. They told you who was wearing whose uniform. Riker was wearing Avery Brooks' uniform. They literally borrowed uniforms from the show and wore them on a movie. I thought that was pretty cool. But that's why in that movie, 1 minute they're in the Next Generation tunic and pants, and the next scene, they're in the Deep Space Nine jumpsuit with the gray collar. So it was kind of weird. And as you guys know, after that movie, everything, TV and movie, all changed over to the gray tops, which I much prefer the gray shoulder ones to both of the other two. I thought that was, of all the Next Generation era uniforms, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, the best uniform, in my opinion, by far the best uniform was the later one with the gray up here, and you know, it had the colored stripes for whatever division they were in. I really like those the best, and I do like the comm badge that Voyager wore. Is my favorite of all the comm badges. I like it better than the oval. Oh, I got on my Next Generation. I got on my Star Trek cat shirt too, by the way. So there you go. It shows the original crew, but they're all cats. Yeah, they never should have killed Kirk, but you know, technically, in Star Trek, no one's ever truly dead. All it takes is any given space-time anomaly, and he's back. The Nexus itself would have brought him back. Remember, Guinan existed both in the Nexus and outside the Nexus. Remember, I go way too deep into these stupid things. Remember when he went in the Nexus, when Picard ended up in the Nexus on the first time through? Remember that? Picard ends up in the Nexus. He has the little Christmas scene, which is weird. I don't like that whole scene because it's Christmas and he's English and it's weird and it's... Anyway, remember when he's in the Nexus, who comes and sees him? Guinan. Well, Guinan wasn't in the Nexus. Remember, she was yanked back out by the transporter along with Soren by the Enterprise B, remember? Okay, so she's not in the Nexus, but yet she still exists in the Nexus. So technically, as long as that Nexus is flying through space, which is forever, technically Kirk can be pulled out of it. It can be done. Kirk is still alive inside that nexus. Because Guinan is still alive inside that nexus. They say the fire. I could probably do that. They say the time is the fire to which we all burn. Is that good? Was that decent? Was that okay? 6 out of 10? He plays a real shit. I mean, he's good in that. No, when a red shirt dies, they're dead because nobody has time to bother with them. They're just red shirts. Except Scotty. Scotty's important. The rest of them are just red shirts. As long as we all remember him, he's truly not dead. I say bullshit on that. Robert, AI is the stepping stone to warp speed. To, when you say warp power, I assume you mean the antimatter, the use of matter and antimatter in a reaction to create energy. Yeah, we're on the way, man. AI, remember, warp power is something that will come because of AI, not despite it. The cure for cancer is coming. The cure for everything is coming. Eventually, the cure for us is coming. He'll just get rid of all of us because that's the problem. But I do really believe that AI is learning so fast and it's helping us so fast that I think that it's going to create exponential growth in about 1/10 of the time that we would expect normally. So in other words, like going into space, the technology needed to go into space, AI is already working on all this. AI is already developing better seals for doors. It's already developing smaller LED light bulbs that take less power but still illuminate whatever you need to illuminate. AI is already making new programs that run sleeker and quicker. It's creating new protocols to get things done using less energy, using less kinetic power. I mean, I got to tell you guys, the stuff that they're doing with AI, and this is just the infancy of it, literally the infancy of it. You got to remember, we created AI. AI will create everything in the future, okay? I got a buddy of mine that's writing. He informs me the other day, hey, I'm writing apps now. You're writing apps now? How did you learn to do that? Oh, no, I just tell AI what I want. It writes it, and I publish it, and I'm making money. Like, what? Yeah. Yeah, it's little things, little apps I put up on the App Store and this and that. And I'm like, really? He found a way to make it work for him. And that's what's important. AI is making advancements now faster than our scientists can. And before long, all our scientists are going to do is feed the computer, and the computer will be able to feed it back so much faster. It's going to be an amazing thing when our scientists have these supercomputers to work with. I think it's going to really streamline the process. It'll eventually streamline it to the point that they don't need the scientists anymore. Okay, let's see here. Could be a Matrix type thing where AI ends up enslaving us. It could be a thing where we end up, AI becomes part of us, like the Borg, where we are actually assimilated by our own technology. Or we might decide to put the technology within us ourselves because we have it under control and it's okay. Yeah, Star Trek the Motion Picture. There's a great example. We send out the Voyager spacecraft out into interstellar space, which it's still out there. And this intelligence gets a hold of this thing, and its desire is to return home. So this intelligence helps it return home because it doesn't understand that it's just a rudimentary program. But yeah, that was the premise behind Star Trek, the motion picture, and also Star Trek. I believe it was called The Changeling, which was another one. It was basically the same exact thing. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, D Glass, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna tell you exactly why I don't think that we're gonna vegetate like that. Because AI does not replace you. AI replaces the things that you have to do. In other words, it takes all of the things away that you have to do that take up your time, so that now you have time to do all of the things that you want to do. AI enables you. It allows you. AI completes things so that you now have time to go do other things. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is I believe that as we are not bogged down every day by menial work for 50 or 60 hours a week like many of us are, and the human brain is allowed to expand and all that kind of stuff. I think many humans will take advantage of that. And I think that you'll find humans that become very good working with the AI and creating and building things and doing things. It'll just be in a different way than we do it today with hammers and things like that. So I guess the bottom line is I think what's going to end up happening is yeah, it does seem like we're dumbing it down. And for many we are. There'll always be the bottom 30 or 40% of people that they'll sit around their apartment and they'll smoke and drink and do whatever they do, and that's it. And there'll still be plenty of other people out there that will take what AI has given them, the freedom and the knowledge and the accessibility of that knowledge that AI has given them, and harness that and use it for good of humanity and use it for their own personal good. I think so. I don't think it's going to be dystopian. Now, if we let it get away from us and it kills us all, then that's pretty goddamn dystopian. But I'm talking about, I don't think it's going to get dystopian. I hope. Hey, Gabriella. JT Land. Howdy, folks. Thanks for coming in tonight, everybody. I do appreciate it. We're getting a little bit of a crowd in here tonight. Let me take a little peek around here and see. We've still got tornado warnings, but they're all up in Canada still. We still got this one sitting up here just north of the federal border. Is this heading south? No, it's moving west to east mostly. It is kind of coming that way a little bit. They come at night mostly. 10 points for that movie. They come at night, mostly. I know somebody's going to get that one. That one's pretty easy. If not, I've got another quote I'll give you from the same movie. I could sit here all night and just do movie quotes. I love pop culture and movie quotes. I just love it. And I don't watch all the movies, but the ones I watch, boy, I know really well. And I love doing movie quotes with people. Yeah, I don't fear it either. I understand it, and here's the important one. I respect it. Is it going to do any good? Probably not. I don't know. Let's see what else we got going on. I can't believe there's nothing else going on. This is North Dakota. And we got a storm chaser. Look at this. We got something to watch here. We got one here near Medora, North Dakota, just west of Dickinson. That used to be one of my funniest radio bits. I mean, have you guys heard that bit? We used to play it years ago as a funny bit. It was like a commercial, and it would come on. It would have like country music. Bling, bling, bling. When I come home from a nice, when I come home from a long, hard day at work, I like a nice tall Dickens cider. There's nothing better than a tall Dickens cider. And then it would show a woman, and she'd go, "Yep, when I get home, yep, nothing refreshes me like a big tall Dickens cider." And it goes on for like a minute doing this, right? And it turns out they're talking about Dickens apple cider, because at the end it says Dickens Apple Cider Company, State Road 29. It's just a play on words. We used to have one. It was called Spock's Logic. We used to do, and it'd be like everything Spock would say. This guy that did Spock, he would always be, "Well, it's my Vulcan logic," and then I whipped out my Vulcan thing, and then I did the Vulcan thing. Everything was Vulcan instead of effing. It was another funny bit. Red rum. Yeah, I think it's hilarious. I never said anything dirty, so I don't want to hear it. It's a cider company. Look at that mean storm. See, when you see a storm like that, you need like music, like the Jaws music or something. Dun 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 dun. Of course, it's not really moving fast enough, I guess, for the music. Let's see, where else we at? Do we got any other storm chasers out here? I know there's none over there. Mineral County, Nevada, 1,100 people without electricity tonight. Sucks for them. Nothing like being in the desert without power. That's what I always say. All right, so that's really the only show in town, so I'm just going to leave it here. That really got strong there for a second, but I don't think it put down anything. We're going to keep watching this. Homemade apple cider. Yeah, there's a place up in Blue Ridge, Georgia. It's called Mercier's Orchard, and they have everything there. They make all their own ciders and all their own different things, and we really like that. In the lower right corner, these guys have rolled up on a crash. I don't know if you see that. They've actually rolled up on a crash. EMS is there. And hey, we're covering it live. So yeah, we do. We got a crash going on. The White House was red, white, and blue. Now it's just white. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they canceled the 4th or what. A lot of people in Times Square tonight. Of course, it looks dry. Yeah, there was a time when dirty puns were really big. That 90s, early 2000s. I mean, dirty puns were fun. We had a lot of fun on the radio. We still to this day have fun on the radio with dirty puns. Yeah, I remember you guys were talking about this one a few minutes ago, yeah. Well, there you go, guys. I guess, so we've got a traffic crash, lower right corner there, somewhere in L.A. Let me take a look and see if there's any other lives I can put up, anything going on. Now, tomorrow night, I got a camera up on my tower, a tower camera, and I'm going to go up tomorrow and readjust it so that I'm looking at the horizon, 3 different horizon shots. And I'm going to set up a pano. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I've got 3 cameras up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them from the positions they're in, and I'm going to put them in a forced pano so that I have 3 cameras, and you guys are going to get about a 220-degree view, something like that. This neighborhood puts up a lot of personal fireworks. I mean a shitload. And the patriotism is a little bit over the top this year, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like. Um, yeah, that looks like now cars do crumple up pretty good, but that looks like a 45 mile an hour impact to me. 40 to 50 mile an hour impact. Could even be a little higher than that. There's a significant amount of damage. It is weird though. On these newer cars, you can have a very low impact and still it looks really bad. But that one, there's a lot. I mean, if you look at it, the metal bumper under the plastic bumper is all pushed and down and away, and the radiator's crumpled into like a was a tin can. So I mean, it did take a really good hit. It could have been 50 miles an hour. When I say it took a hit, it hit something. It looks like, yeah. Yeah, the 360 cams are cool. I don't have one yet, but I eventually want to get that technology in here. But tomorrow I will have the pano view in here of this neighborhood. Plus, I'm going to have shots up of the other places where fireworks will be going off. And then I'm going to stay with you guys for a while. And we'll catch the central, we'll catch the mountain. You know, and we'll follow the fireworks for a little while as it goes across. There's a lot of people putting up these scanner feeds, but none of them are doing it quite like I am. Hopefully something will pay off with it. I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with the amateur radio stuff. I wasn't. I mean, I could put that stuff up for hours, and
my mother and my grandmother.
I was putting stuff up for days and just getting like 20 hits on it or 30 hits. The reason is because amateur radio is a fickle thing. Not a lot of people are doing FT8, or not a lot of people are doing MMSS TV, and so there's not a lot of people, and of those, not a lot of them are doing this. So it ends up being a very, very, it's like a niche within a niche. And so I'm trying something different now. I'm trying these scanner feeds. Well, the way I understand it is there is a prohibition for the states to issue any kind of legislation prohibiting or retarding the growth and use of AI. And that is so important because any government regulation, federal, state, local, any government regulation that we get right now on AI is going to hurt us. Because China is building it as fast as they can. Russia is building it as fast as they can. Japan is building it as fast as they can. And I'm talking enemies and allies, it doesn't matter. They're all building it as fast as they can, okay? If we allow our states to start saying, look, in Florida, we're not going to do this AI thing. Well, in Georgia, we're not going to let server farms set up here. Well, you know what? In Tennessee, you can't do that. Because what it will do is it'll be impossible before long to figure out where you can do what and why and how. And number two, any regulation that you put on AI gives them the advantage and it takes it away from us. The only thing we should be doing right now is helping our companies to be number one. And the way you do that is to not regulate, deregulate. These lawmakers, we need to quit calling them lawmakers. They need to go up there and they need to get rid of some of these laws. We need smaller government. Smaller government is more efficient, it works better. And we've already seen anything the government touches fails. You know, the government's the only business in the whole world that doesn't have any goals and doesn't have to meet them. There's no proof of performance. Your house gets burglarized, they steal your TV. There's no expectation that the cop's going to get that TV back for you. Your house catches on fire. They'll show up eventually. There's no expectation that they're actually going to get it put out before it's all burned up. That's the way the government is now. You walk into government offices and there's not even anybody working the counter. Oh, we do everything online now. If you want to wait here, we can try to find somebody, but it'd be better if you just go online. Our government really wants nothing to do with us, unfortunately. Endpoint idiocracy, yes, I agree. Well, that's fine. I have no problem with mining minerals as long as it's done appropriately. Again, whoever has control of the minerals who is building the chips. I really think we're in a world of mess right now because China is so far ahead of us on chips and stuff, and we're trying to keep up. And then our government starts talking about, well, we need to regulate. I'm like, no. My God, if you regulate anything right now, it's going to ruin us. What we need right now is for you guys to do nothing. Let it develop on its own. It needs to run wide open. No, let me ask you something. Name one thing that the government tried to wipe out that they succeeded on. Even polio's come back in the last few years. War on terror, war on poverty, war on drugs, war on crime. How many wars are we going to get in here? And you know something? They don't win any of them. Drugs are everywhere. You can buy them right here on the street. And you know what? Marijuana is cheaper today than it's ever been. How's the war on drugs going? It's a waste. The government does all this so that they can find excuses to spend money. The goal, the means to the end, it never was an end. There was never an end. The goalpost just keeps moving, so you got to keep writing checks. Prohibition. They've had prohibition on marijuana now for, 60 years, and guess what? You can still buy it right out here at the corner. You can buy it right up at the store. What good has it done? You know what it's done? We've spent billions every year on fighting marijuana. It's a plant. What they're finding is when they deregulate it, DUIs go down. When they deregulate it, domestic violence goes down. It's a crazy thing. But see, the government, it's not that they don't care if you have marijuana or not. They just don't want to give up that money-making opportunity and that control. Because now if they pull over your car, what are they going to say? Because what they've been saying for 20 years is, I smell marijuana. Oh, well, they smell marijuana, so we got to search your car. We smell marijuana. I joke around with cops. I got several friends that are cops. I was a cop years ago. I joke around with them. They walk up to my house and you smell that? I said, what, pot? You smell pot everywhere you go. You're a cop. And they just laugh. Yeah. Like, we know. Yeah, THC's reached a point here to where it's just about legal. You can have a marijuana card, and you can buy it legally that way. But now, with the hemp laws we have, you can buy it right at the head shops now, THC. You can buy anything, edibles, gummies, flowers, anything you want right at the head shop. You don't have to even go to a dispensary anymore if you don't want to. And what's happened? What happened here since that happened? Nothing. You'd never know there was a change. Everybody's a little more chill. It was one of those things where the government should have just left it alone. Do you know how many billions and billions and billions of dollars we've spent over the last 5 or 10 years on stopping people from drinking and driving? That's it. We're just trying to stop people. We got to stop people. Mad mothers. You know, the funniest bumper sticker I ever saw said, damn, drunks against mad mothers. I thought, that's just stupid, but it's funny. It's hilarious, even though it's bad. And, but like Mothers Against Drunk Driving, do you guys realize that entire organization, and I'm not against it, but that entire organization, do you know what their primary goal was? To facilitate the breaking of your constitutional rights so that they can check your sobriety. These DUI checkpoints are unconstitutional. In the whole and on their face, they are unconstitutional, period. And so what? They still do it. Because Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, they did it for the kids all these years. We're doing it for the kids. We're doing it for the kids. And what ends up happening is they allow the police to violate our constitutionally granted rights because they got their arm twisted by a bunch of mad mothers. That sucks. I stop at these checkpoints, I don't even roll my window down. They got to break it. I hate that. And I tell them, I'm a former cop, I know my rights, leave me alone, and they let me drive away. Look, and nobody likes those drugs. I've never taken any of those drugs that you just mentioned, Aquarius. I've never even tried any of those drugs. I was a cop for years. I never wanted to take drugs. But I'm tired of spending my money imprisoning hundreds of thousands of people for doing something to their own body that did not harm me at all. If you let them have it, half of them will kill themselves and the other half will get sick of it and quit. I'm telling you, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of paying for it. I'm a libertarian. I'm sick of paying the bills. I'm sick of paying for it. I'm sick of the cops out in front of my house every night with the red and blue lights on like a disco party. And what are they doing out there? I'll tell you what they're doing out there. They've stopped some other guy going down the road trying to find drugs. These cops have this single-minded fixation on drugs. They couldn't give a shit about burglaries, robberies, rapes. They couldn't care about these major crimes. What your car gets stolen? They don't even go out and look for it. They put it in the computer and hopefully somebody will find it on the side of the road somewhere. They don't do police work anymore. Hell, when I was a cop in the 90s, we didn't do much police work back then. Anything that was a misdemeanor didn't even get investigated, period. And felonies, yeah, if it was worth a lot, they might actually spend an hour to see what they could come up with. But for the most part, 90% of crimes they never even took out of the drawer and spent any time on. It was just ridiculous. But they'll spend all night out here on the side of the road trying to get heroin or trying to get pot or trying to get alcohol, open containers. I watched them about 3 months ago. I put on my big black robe and I walk right up to the fence and I stand there and they never see me. I just stand there and I film for the safety of everybody involved, both of them. And I'm filming. And this cop tells this guy, put your cigarette out. And the guy went like, I don't know where to put it. And the cop says, put it out. And he points at the ground. The man drops his cigarette and he puts it out. 15 minutes later, he has the guy sign a ticket. The guy asks, what's this ticket for? He said, I wrote you a $200 ticket for littering the highway with your cigarette. That's what's wrong. That cop just likes to hurt people. He wrote him another ticket for not having a taillight on his bicycle. That was $48 or something. And then he asked the guy if he had any questions. And the guy goes, you know I'll never be able to pay these. And he goes, well, then they'll issue a warrant for you, won't they? And he goes, you can go. And he's being like a nasty to this man. This is the Lee County Sheriff's Department. He's being nasty to this man. And when the cop turned around to go to his car, he saw me standing there. I said, you, sir, are a piece of shit. I said, I used to wear that exact same uniform, and you, sir, are a piece of shit. I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. And he got in his car and he drove away. Never said a word to me. I hate that. I hate that. Because that man's now going to end up going to jail over that goddamn ticket that the cop told him to put it there. He told him to put it there. And now that man's not going to be able to come up with $268. Do you think he's going to get that money? He couldn't even get a ride down there to give him the money. He's poor. He lives in a homeless camp. And that's the kind of thing I can't stand right there. I did file a complaint on that cop, never heard a word back. I've probably filed 6 or 8 complaints in the last 10 years on these deputies, and they don't ever even get back with me. They don't return your calls. They don't ever tell you what happened. And they wonder why everybody, I'm not anti-law enforcement. I was a goddamn cop. That's what I did, okay? I'm retired from the fire service. Public safety was my life, okay? And after the things I've seen lately, I can't trust these guys. I can't even look them in the eye anymore. My 2 friends that are cops, I hardly speak to them anymore. Because I feel awkward. I don't even know what to say. Because I'm so mad at them right now. The way they treat people in this neighborhood is terrible. And I got really mad. I was a cop. I know what these guys are allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. They lie constantly. They cheat constantly. They steal constantly. That's what cops do. That's become the lifestyle here. One of our cops from Lee County here was arrested 2 days ago for soliciting minors for sex online, 12-year-olds. A week before that, it was another one arrested for doing something, and another one. They're never arrested by their own department. They're all getting arrested by other departments. It's weird how it's working. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Aquarius. I'm upset because there's injustice and abuse going on to my neighbors, and I know it's wrong, and I can't do anything about it. If I stand up and start being one of these guys that starts doing something about it, then I become the victim. Then they make me the victim. I start going to jail. I start getting pulled over. When I moved into this neighborhood, I was getting pulled over constantly. And finally, one day I'd had enough, and I told this cop off on the side of the road and demanded his supervisor. I told him I stopped at that stop sign. I've got a camera to prove it. And I demanded that he write me the ticket because I wanted to take it to court. I demanded that he write me the ticket. He wouldn't do it. Because he's a lying asshole. And I get so mad because I'm not anti-cop. We need these guys. But we need them to be honest. And we need them to not like to hurt people. Yes, the nail that sticks up is the first to get hammered down. And that especially happens when you're the nail that stands up to law enforcement. 2 cops just had a shootout, 2 female cops. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, when you take our sheriff's department here and you average the amount of deputies that get arrested, that got arrested over the last year, and you take the average of the citizens in this county that got arrested last year, you are more likely to be arrested if you're a cop than if you're a citizen. And remember, they protect their own. They rarely ever arrest each other. So what does that tell you? Yeah, 2 female cops, they shot it out with each other. They got into a big argument. I'm not going to say any smart-ass things. It is what it is. It could have been 2 dudes, too. It doesn't matter what the sex is. Although I kind of thought it was funny. Just because. Yep. That's the thing that gets me. They treat everybody like a piece of shit. They treat me like a piece of shit. I had one treating me like a piece of shit one day, and I looked him right in the face and I said, "You know, I used to do your job. I now work for the media, and I'm going to file a complaint." And he turned around and walked away. You just have to stand up to him. You have to be right, though. Brute Man, there you go. My interactions with FMPD have been good. I work over in the city. Got pulled over one night, speeding into the radio station because it was offline, and the guy let me go. He said, just get on to work, fix the station. And so I have not seen now. I know some of the auditors around here, the First Amendment guys, have had issues with FMPD. I also know that FHP is a constant problem. There's a thing with FHP. They make these guys go to a special academy in Tallahassee, and they literally remove their soul up there somehow. I don't know how they do it. These guys come out of that academy, and they come down here, and they stroke every single car they see a ticket. They write tickets. They write 20, 30, 40 tickets a day. They cost us millions every year, Florida Highway Patrol. And the bad part is, studies will show no matter how many tickets you write, the roads don't get any safer. So all they're doing it for is to protect their jobs and to get revenue for the state. That's it. We had a sheriff here, not the one we have now, but the previous one. He said, when I become sheriff, I'm going to double the size of the traffic division. I'm going to quadruple the amount of traffic tickets we're writing. I'm going to fix the streets of this county. We had 109 fatalities last year, and it's not going to happen again on my watch. Well, they elected this bozo that ended up quitting over being blackmailed over something which I can't discuss. But anyway, the point is they elected this idiot. He gets in there, and the first thing he does is doubles the size of the traffic department, quadruples the tickets, goes out and buys a bunch more motorcycles, puts up people everywhere, speed traps. He's doing these big things with the zone guys. He's using the whole department to do traffic. He's buying radar guns. Mad's buying radar guns. The state's buying radar guns. It was crazy. He put them in every single car. There was cops sitting at every third intersection, running radar, running VASCAR, running everything you can imagine. It was crazy down here. And after that year, fatalities went up 7.5%. There's no direct correlation between traffic tickets being written and people dying on the highway. That's the fallacy they don't want you to know. That's it right there. That's what they don't want you to know. We can all sit there and say, I want cops out there because I want the roads safer. It doesn't prove out. It doesn't prove out. Places where they write twice as many tickets, fatalities go up. Places where they get rid of the traffic department and they quit writing so many tickets, fatalities go down. You know the most dangerous thing that happens on a highway? A traffic stop. I've always wondered why I'm going 10 miles over the speed limit, which is a little bit dangerous. But then you decide to stop me in a 75 mile an hour speed zone on the side of the highway with traffic whizzing by at 100 miles an hour, with your lights on and everything else, approaching me with your hand on your gun. One false move and I'm going to get capped. That's the most dangerous thing. If you are pulled over by a cop, that's the most dangerous thing that's happened to you in 10 years. Think about it. Because of being hit by cars, shot by cops, misunderstandings, warrants coming back for people they don't belong to. The most dangerous thing that can happen to you on the highway is getting stopped by a Florida Highway Patrol trooper. Bottom line. Yeah, and a pit maneuver should not be used. I have seen the pit maneuver. The only thing that gets abused more than the pit is the taser and the canine. Those are the three most abused things that cops get to do. And if you think about it, they're all three very violent things. They love violence. A lot of people that gravitate into law enforcement get into it because of having true civil service feelings like I had. When I got in there, I found out half the guys don't give a shit about civil service. They don't give a shit about the community. What they care about is power. They're hungry. They like to go out and they push somebody. We had a cop call our show 3 days ago. And my host asked him, he says, what speed on the interstate do you start pulling people over? He said 100. He goes, the speed limit's 70. Why would you wait till they're going 100 before you try to pull them over? He goes, I only want people that are going to run and fight. He said that right on our effing radio. I only want people that are going to run and fight. That's the mentality. That's the mentality today in law enforcement. And it's bad. It's a gang, pretty much. And it's hard because I was one. I support them. I believe in what they do. I believe that it can be done properly. Now, our legislations wrote way too many laws, and our cops have become way too big of pricks. But law enforcement and laws are necessary for society. Well, Gabriel, I'm the exact opposite. I hate going on the road and driving, so when I get on the road, I drive as fast as I can. Now, I'm not reckless. I never go more than 10 over, but I do. I set my cruise at 80 on the interstate because I know they're generally not going to mess with me, because 80 in my car is actually 78 because everybody's speedometer is off by 1.5 to 2 to kind of help you not get as many tickets. My speedometer calibrates out at 2 miles an hour faster than I'm actually going. So if I set it for 80, I'm actually doing 78. They won't pull you over for 78 and a 70. So that's why I do it, because I want to get there. I don't want to linger. If I've got family in the car and we're taking a scenic trip, I'm like you. I avoid interstates. However, if I'm going to my cabin, I want to get there. I get on the interstate and I go fast and I get there. So it kind of depends on what mode I'm driving in. But I'm not an aggressive driver. I don't believe in all that. I am a vocal driver. Let me qualify. I would never open my door, get out of my car, wave a pistol. I mean, the things people do in their cars is stupid. However, if you pull up to a right turn on red light in Florida and you don't turn right on red, I will lay on the horn until you effing move that goddamn car. I hate that. If you're in front of me and you don't go when it's your turn to go, I lay on the horn until you are out of my way. Because it's discourteous. And when you come to Florida to visit, if you're from Ohio or one of these, I think Ohio's still no turn on red. Some states are no turn on red. I get it. There's still a few of those socialist states out there. But in Florida, you can make a right turn on red after a full stop. So when I pull up to this light up here going to work every day in tourist season, I pull up. Sure enough, there's some guy from Ohio in front of me, and he's sitting there with his blinker on at the stop line. And I start blowing the horn. And I had a guy about 2 months ago get out of the car and walk back to my car and said, buddy, what the F is your problem? And I rattled off the statute number. And I told him, right turn on red. It's legal. Figure it out. Get up there and drive that thing or I'll do it. People do get angry. But I have to admit, people get angry. But a lot of times, most of the time, when people are angry, they've been made that way by someone who's driving really slow or someone who's not driving appropriately, unfortunately. That's the truth. And we always blame the bad driver. Okay, we always blame the bad driver. Look at that. It was caused by a guy that was raging and he's all pissed off and upset. Really? I think it was caused by that 92-year-old woman that he just had to follow for 9 miles up the parkway because she didn't want to go over 30 miles an hour. He's on the way to work. He works for a living. He's feeding kids. Is he right to rage? No. But that's part of the story, isn't it? The woman caused the man a situation that he didn't handle well. I see fault in both. But most people don't see it that way. Most people think I can drive as slow as I want. I can drive as methodical as I want. I can not make a right turn if I don't want to. That's another thing. People pull up at the flashing yellow left turn. They pull up and they sit there. It's not red. Why are we sitting? I don't get it. I have to get on the horn with them too. Kansas has right turn on red. I'm glad to hear it. I've got a friend in on the Missouri side up there, but yeah, I'm not much on the angry driving. I don't angry drive. I might honk my horn at you, but I'm not cussing and flipping you off and threatening your kids. All I'm doing is just blowing the horn until you move out of my way. In fact, I'm quite peaceful about it. I don't go honk, 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 honk. I just go honk until the obstruction has moved from in front of my car. Oh, okay. Well, it's the same thing here. You can turn right on red unless there's a sign prohibiting it. And yes, in Florida, same thing. You must come to a full stop. Years ago, when I was a cop in the 90s, Ohio was a no right turn on red state, I'm pretty sure. But I was pretty sure it had changed over the years. But there is still some of your socialist states from up north that are like that. So, yeah. I like the right turn on red is a good thing. I mean, it's to make people sit there and wait for a traffic light when they're just making a right turn is ridiculous. So there you go. All right. Well, it looks like we're in a deli now down here. What are we doing? $5. It looks like it's $5, whatever it is. This guy literally he types out, I'm going to the riot downtown. But there never was a riot. He just drives around and goes to the deli and goes grocery shopping and gets some chicken nuggets. Oh, it's a Big Gulp. We must be in a Circle K. Hey, it's on the way. Lord, I swear, it's like they say people will do anything for content. Look what I'm doing. That's a joke, kind of. I will admit, these funny cat videos, man. Sometimes these cat videos can be a real treat. Something I want to tell you, something I've been doing at night. Let's get off the whole traffic discussion. One thing I do at night is I do on another night want to have a discussion about traffic lights and traffic lanes and some things that we're dealing with that too. But we'll do that another night because I don't really want to. I don't really want to get into all that tonight. When I sleep, I've been having a hard time sleeping, as most people do when they get to be my age, mid-50s. I've been having a hard time sleeping, and I will take melatonin for a while, and that will help. And then it kind of wears off. And then I switch to Benadryl, and that will work. I don't like taking drugs, like prescription drugs or anything. I'll take a Benadryl or a melatonin. That's about as far as I'll go. I used to take a Tylenol PM when I really had to, but them things started making me freaky in the morning. I would get freaky. I'd get like jumpy and freaky and weird, and I quit taking those things. And there's nothing to it. It's like citric acid and something else, but whatever. It was making me all screwed up. But I do that, melatonin and Benadryl. I switch back and forth every couple of months. So what I've been doing lately is I've been putting on the TV at night, and I've been putting it on a channel that plays different things. Like one of them is a rainstorm. I like that. It's just rolling thunder. It's a black screen, rolling thunder, rain coming down. I love that. They also have that same one with the Native American pan flute and all that. I like that too. They got the all the different frequencies, different
sleep songs and frequencies, and some of those are mixed with different rains and different things. There's winter storms, which is a little less intrusive. It's more of wind sound than it is thunder. I've been trying all of these, and I like them. No matter which one I put on, I seem to sleep better than if I don't put anything on. Now, I sleep with a loud fan at night because I have to have a lot of noise when I sleep. If not, every little noise the cats make, I'll be up wondering what the hell's going on. Yeah. No, Daddy Kitty, he stays outside. He likes it outside. He was an outdoor cat. When he wandered up here, he was pretty much fairly domesticated, but still wild. You know, he was living outside. And we took him in, and he can stay inside if he wants, but he doesn't. He likes to stay outside. I've got 5 or 6 of them that prefer the outside over the inside no matter what. But Ed Earl is in there right now with the 2 boys in the bedroom waiting for me to get in there. And they all 3 sleep in the bed with us. They're all 3 gray cats. We've got Littles and Ed Earl and Ted. Yeah, I don't know where these names come from. My wife named him Ted. I told her, I said, well, the next one's Paul. And then Jim. Wow, Singing Bull. Well, that's interesting. I'll look for that one. Oh, wow. Gabriel, I'm sorry to hear about that. Yeah, I don't know much about Ohio. My host at work is from Cincinnati. And we're always kidding around about how Cleveland sucks. But it really doesn't. We just joke. It's just a joke. He's from Cincinnati, so he always says, oh, and Cleveland sucks. And then if you argue with him, he'll look at you and say, have the Browns ever won a football game? Which means nothing to me because I quit watching football years ago. You know why scientists don't watch football? Do you know why analytical people don't watch football? Because you'll realize it's all bullshit. You know, those guys go out there and play their heart out, and then those refs throw a game. What a waste, man. These guys go and they give everything. They give their health. They give their life. Now, they make a lot of money. They make shitloads of money, yes. But they give the rest of their life in some ways. They give their health. And they give their mental health with brain injuries. They give their physical health with injuries. And we owe them a fair football game, don't we? I think we owe them a fair football game. And our fans that are betting on them, they deserve a fair football game. So why don't we do it? Why don't we start this coming year and provide a fair football game? And you're not going to like what I'm going to say. But here it is. The referees suck. The referees are wrong more than they're right. The referees always have an agenda. I mean, just ask the Saints 3 years ago. There's always an agenda with these guys. You'll notice a team is almost going to make it to the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden, 3 weird calls at the end of some playoff game, and they don't make the Super Bowl. Why? Because this other team had to make the Super Bowl. Am I saying the whole thing is corrupt from the ground up? Not necessarily. But what I am saying is games are fixed and the refs are doing it. Period. Look, when he makes a bad call on the field, and the other refs saw it was a bad call, but they didn't say anything. The coaches saw it was a bad call. They bitched. Nobody looked at them. Nobody cared. Everybody in the stands is booing. We all saw it was a bad call. The people at home saw it in 4K it was a bad call. Everybody saw it was a bad call. But the call on the play stands. Why? Until you can bring fairness to the NFL, all that other bullshit is not even, it doesn't even matter. You got to find a way to bring fairness to the NFL. And the only way you're going to do that, okay, and you're not going to want to hear this, but it's going to take a 3-pronged process of judging each call. Basically, we're at the point now where we have cameras from every single angle. I don't think anybody can argue on that. Every play has 40 cameras in high definition, all of them tracking that particular call, tracking that football. I don't know if you know it or not, there's so many cameras now in NFL coverage. Each player has his own cameraman, pretty much. Whoever's tight end, he's got a cameraman. All that cameraman does is stay on the tight end. There's a cameraman that stays on the quarterback. There's a cameraman that stays on this, a cameraman that stays on this. And then there's cameras that do nothing but stay on the ball, stay on the play. And then they got switchers and they got screens, and it's crazy. We did all that for TV. Why are we not using that to make sure that the calls are fair on the field? Look, I could not tolerate one more bad call by officials. Everybody knows it's a bad call. The official knows it's a bad call. He could fix it. They could fix it. Nobody fixes it. Team doesn't go to the Super Bowl. What kind of shit is that? And that's why I walked away from the NFL. I walked away. I said, I can't do it no more. Yeah, the kneeling thing kind of bothered me, but I had already quit watching by that point. Yeah, sports is $1 billion to $1 trillion industry. That's true. And I got to tell you, yeah. Well, if you can get out of Ohio, we would welcome you down here in Florida. We've got a little space left, but not much. Well, good night. If you guys are leaving, good night. I'm going to be on for a few more minutes. Tomorrow's the 4th, guys. Tomorrow's July 4th. I am going to be covering it here. I'm going to go on early, probably 7:30 or 8, an hour or so earlier than normal tomorrow. And I'll probably be staying on a little later than normal too. So it'll be a nice long broadcast tomorrow. And I'm gonna have, like I said, I'm gonna have the cam shots up from here. And it should be pretty cool. I think it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, it's hotter and humider. It's we're truly in the tropics down here. Our humidity in the summer, most of the spring and fall and all of the summer, our humidity reaches 100% every single night without fail. It's so bad that if you got the air turned down in your house sweats at night. We have to pressure clean our houses once a year down here because they condensate. The outside of your home will literally condensate, and once a year they go around and we pressure clean every house. I got a little pressure cleaner. I pressure clean my house. I can't stand the weather down here. I hate humidity and I hate heat. I'm an air conditioner guy. This time of year, I do everything indoors. Yeah, it is. It's miserable. It's like somebody threw a wet blanket on you. And it's just terrible. It's oppressive. But 6 months out of the year, we have the best weather ever, dude. Ever, ever, ever. It's the best weather you're ever going to get down here. Because it varies from days in the 80s to days in the 50s, days in the 80s, days in the 60s. It goes back and forth. And it's a wonderful winter down here because we've got just amazing temperatures. I don't know what you're saying exactly, Junior. You may have gotten used to the humidity, my friend. I've lived here my whole life, and I've never gotten used to the humidity. I hate it. I like the sun in the wintertime. When it's low in the sky and it's cool outside and I can go sit out in the sun, I like that. I do. Conversely, this time of year, I avoid the sun like it's giving out cancer. I don't want nothing to do with it. I try to stay out of it. I walk to my car and back in the house, and that's it. South Carolina is a beautiful state. South Carolina is a lot like Georgia and North Carolina. In Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, you can go to one end of the state and you're at the beach. Beautiful beaches. All states, beautiful beaches. You can go to the other end of the state and you're in the mountains. And I'm telling you, I got a cabin up there. That's some of the best country there is. So that's good. Aquarius, our average daytime high during the summer is 96. That will be our peak each day. The average is about 96. The average at night during the summer is between about 79 or 80. We do get into the 70s a lot of nights, but a lot of nights we stay around 80. It depends. Like today, it's rained all day. It's probably 75 outside right now. But if the sun beats down on us all day long, and we don't get any rain, it stays 90 degrees till 9 o'clock at night, and then it goes through the 80s, and we never do make it into the 70s at night, and it stays in the 80s all night. It is oppressive. It's terrible. And the whole time, everything outside is soaking wet. Everything is wet. When you get in your car, the inside of the windows are wet. The outside of the windows are wet. You're wet. The car's wet. Everything's freaking wet. I drove at night down here for a while. I drove a scan car for a repo company. That was a fun job. I just drove and scanned complete neighborhoods, scanning tags into a tag reading system. And driving around at night trying to stay cool inside the car. You can't turn the air down or all the windows immediately look like bathroom glass. So you literally have to use as little AC as possible to get by. And you got to keep the car moving. And then you got to work it to where none of the vents are shooting on the inside of the windows either, because they turn out. It's terrible. You get it down here sometimes where the inside and the outside's so fogged up you can't even see where you're going. Cocoa Beach is nice. That's the Space Coast. That's right near Cape Canaveral. Great shots of launches from there. Your dad lives in Charlotte. Is that Charlotte County, Florida, or Charlotte, North Carolina, or Charlotte, South Carolina? Where there's a bunch of Charlottes. Yeah, the Carolinas are beautiful. Now, see, a lot of people like the Outer Banks. A lot of people like the Barrier Islands. A lot of people like the suburbs in the middle. And a lot of people like the mountains on the west. But that's what's neat. California, I'll tell you what, North Carolina in some ways is kind of like a swath of California in a way. Because in North Carolina, you actually have 3 separate climates. You have 3 separate types of terrain. It's kind of neat. Kind of doing Georgia too. It's kind of neat. That's one of the things I've always loved about California is you can go snow skiing in the morning and you can go water skiing in the afternoon. I always thought that was freaking awesome. All right. I'll tell you, there's so many good places to live in this country. There's so many beautiful states. There's some I wouldn't live in for politics reasons. There's some I wouldn't live in for climate reasons. I mean, I'm certainly not looking for property in North Dakota. Although I would love to go live a month in Dakota during February. I would love to spend a February in North Dakota. I would love to spend a February up in North Canada, up in the Arctic. As a matter of fact, I tried 3 different times to get on Arctic expeditions to South America and things like that, but I never had the scientific credentials to get me there. When you put down that you have an associate's degree, they kind of laugh. Oh my God. Whatever. I don't know why you need a master's degree to go read a thermometer, but whatever. Oh, look at that beautiful sunset. Wow. Look at that, guys. The rain through the sunset. Or, I said it backwards. The sunset through the rain. There's even a blinking tower in there. That's pretty cool. That's a nice shot. That's a beautiful shot. You know, being in the media and being a photographer and being a weather nut, I can really appreciate these shots. Oh, I just love these shots. I don't know if I could just literally click my fingers and move, and I would be moved to some other place anywhere in the United States of America. It would probably just be my cabin in North Georgia. I'm so happy with that area up there. I love it. I do. I really love it up there. The people are so nice. I mean, it's just, down here, it's not quite New York down here. I mean, you know, we're not all telling each other to go F ourselves, but it's getting pretty nasty down here. And like you were talking about earlier with the nasty drivers and the and people just being rude and nasty all the time, we're getting to see a lot of that down here. And you go up to the Georgia mountains, you don't see it that much. You go up there and everybody's just so nice. Oh, see, Aquarius, you know, Janis Joplin once sung, "Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose." And over the years, I realized that that woman was a bit of a prophet, because there's so much truth to that statement. When you have things, they hang around your neck. When you have family and people and friends, they hang around your neck, good or bad, but they hang around your neck. And when you own property, it hangs around your neck. When you owe taxes, when you owe debt, it hangs around your neck. When you can walk out and walk down the road with nothing but what's on your back, that's as free as you'll ever be. It may not be good, but that's as free as you'll ever be in this life. But then you'll stop somewhere and you'll buy a piece of property. You'll get a car. You'll get a job. You'll get some debt. You'll get a kid. And next thing you know, you have no freedom left at all in your world. Because freedom means that you have nothing left to lose. All you have left in front of you is just living the rest of your life. Ding ding, it's not even as much that as it's just that nobody's in a bad mood up there. I just love it up there. I find myself, I have to watch myself, because I'll start to take on a little bit of a twang when I'm up there. Because I'm from the South. My family's from the South. I'm back 7 generations from the South. My family goes back here before the air conditioner, which is rare. Florida didn't become popular until they invented the air conditioner. So it's kind of one of those things where, you know, I love Florida. I've lived here my whole life. The people down here are all right. The problem is, the further south in Florida you go, the further north you get. What I mean by that is, by the time you get down to Naples, 80% of the people that live in Naples are from up north. They're from the Northeast or the Midwest. It's not Floridians. People come down here and they bitch and they're like, I don't like all these Floridians. And I'm like, those people are all from Ohio. I can't stand all those damn Floridians down at that thing. They're all from Michigan and Ohio and Maine. You know where the Floridians are? North Georgia. I go up there, you know, in North Georgia, they got a thing up there called halfbacks. And I heard this woman talking about the halfbacks. Oh, they're just a bunch of halfbacks. And I asked somebody, I said, what is the term halfback? And they're like, well, this thing that's happening, all these people, because people are moving to Florida right now like gangbusters. We picked up 1 congressional seat. We're going to pick up 3 next time around. Florida is growing huge, okay? And as all these people move down, some of them get down here and they're like, damn, it's hot. And damn, there's a lot of Yankees down here. And so I don't want to live down here anymore. So what they do is they move halfway back, which brings them to western North Carolina, western South Carolina, northern Georgia. And they all end up in that mountainous area up there because they want to get away from people. And the people up in the mountains refer to them as halfbacks. I'm referred to as just a Floridian, but there's not much of us. There's not many of us up there. It's mostly halfbacks. There's probably more halfbacks up there now than there is true Floridians. And it's kind of a neat phenomenon up there. And it's funny, the first time I was sitting up there, we sit down here and we talk about those damn Yankees. Those damn Yankees, they keep clogging up the damn roads. Those damn Yankees, I can't even get a seat in Denny's because of those damn Yankees. You go up to the mountains and you sit in the restaurant and you hear them, those damn Floridians. They all come up here looking at the colored leaves. I can't stand them damn Floridians. You realize no matter where you are, there's that other guy you don't want to come there. Yep. Florida right now, I can't even explain this. I don't have anything I can show you visually, but let me just put it this way. Every single contractor down here is booked out 2 years. We have contractors from other states that have been temporarily licensed here to build subdivisions because we don't have anybody to build them. We don't even have enough people to fix roofs after a hurricane down here. We are so short on construction workers down here. Why? Because they're building 150 gated communities in this county all at the same time. And 150 got finished last year, and there's 150 set to finish next year. I'm not lying. This is a boom that I've never seen before. Of course, they're not fixing any of the roads. It's going to be the same roads. All these people are going to move here, and we still got the same 6 lanes. I don't know what's going to happen there. We've got some challenges right now, whether it's electricity, water. Not too bad, but we're getting to the point where it's starting to get a little thin. And they're building houses in the Cape as quick as they can build them. They're building these 4-story cookie cutter multifamily dealies as quick as they can build them down here. Well, technically, people from Ohio would be a Yankee. I think they're north of the Mason-Dixon line. But that don't make them bad. I actually have 2 friends from Ohio. And they're okay. Well, there's a lot of lawn care companies down here, and I have a funny feeling that a lot of them will be hiring soon because many of the workers now are finding their way back home. And so we've got a lot there. The self-deportation down here has become a big thing. They're offering now to pay people to self-deport. You can walk in and you can fill out some paperwork, and they'll give you $1,000 and a flight back to your city and your country, and right away, within 2 days. And the accommodations are great. We'll feed you. Everything's great. Here's $1,000 cash. $1,000 cash is a lot of money in a lot of these countries. You can go back there and buy a freaking house for that kind of money, and they self-deport. And then when they self-deport, they get a pamphlet. Here, start filling this out to come back. It's not that we don't want you ever. You broke the rules, but then you showed us that you were going to follow the rules. So now we're going to open the opportunity back up for you to come back. I like that idea. I do. So the self-deporting thing, I think, is a wonderful idea because it's fixing the problem without doing any of the nasty things that we had to do. So I like self-deportation. We're giving these guys money. And people are like, I don't want to give away our money. Who gives a shit? Let me tell you something. That little bit of money they give them, do you know what it costs to house that guy for a year? Do you know what it costs just to have one illegal immigrant in this country for a year? That's cheap money. I'd pay every one of them because I want them to do well. I don't want anything to happen to them. But we do have to have law and order here. So it kind of, it gets us back to that whole thing of, well, damn. But yeah, we're having that issue here too. Although I will admit, we're finding down here that more of our workforce was legal than we thought, because everybody thought that even by now we would start having shortages of pickers, shortages of cleaners, shortages of workers and construction workers. We're really not seeing it. And the reason is because our state already had laws in place where people that employed over a certain amount of people had to go and register those people and make sure they were legal. And so because of that, we're not really seeing a big fall off in our employment here like they are in some other states. So that's a positive. Again, that means less people that are in an unfortunate situation. That's how I look at it. I feel bad for these folks, but I just hate that whole argument of they deserve due process. Well, first of all, they're getting due process. Second of all, they didn't do the due process to come in. So I don't understand that, but okay, I get it. I want to help these folks, but we got to do something. We can't just let it keep going like it is. You're like a sweet tea with snow tires. Honey, I got to tell you, you're so sweet. Bless your little heart. That's actually derogatory. I always thought that was hilarious. Bless your little heart is derogatory in the South. That's where you would say something like, oh, honey, he's not that bright. Bless his little heart. Oh, isn't that awesome? Oh, we lost him. He went offline. He may be done. I don't know that anything else is going to happen with this system tonight. God, look at that big ass damn frog. My God, that frog is big. Look at that frog. See, if you were hungry, you could just pop that pan right in the oven with a little tin foil. She would easily feed a family of 3 with some potatoes and carrots. A little bit of onion, some Everglades seasoning, maybe some garlic, and $3.75, maybe about 45 minutes. Eastern pan frog, I love it. Oh boy. Victor, what will I do to enjoy the 4th of July? Well, I'm going to spend it with you guys. My wife's out of town on work. Joseph's busy. My grandson is with the other half of the family. I'm here by myself tomorrow. I may go have lunch with my mom. And then I'll be here. I'm going to do a long show tomorrow night with you guys. I'm going to spend it with you guys. I got cameras up here in the neighborhood. We're going to be watching the fireworks here. We're going to watch the fireworks across the country. We're going to have a fun day. It'll be fun. But no, but to answer your question, I'm not doing anything but that. That's what I'm doing. I'm also I'm going to continue to work on these streams and get them to smooth out. Right now I got two that streams that are running smooth and two that are not. So I'm going to work on that tomorrow. See if I can get these things to smooth out. Well, that's good. It's good when you have family or friends, to do something with. Oh, she don't care. That frog don't care. There you go. Yep, it's just me and the cats here tomorrow night, but that's all right. That frog is so big, I don't even know what to think about that. Oh, now I'm getting the unable to maintain a smooth bit rate. Of course, that's the first one of those I've gotten tonight. Oh well, don't care. All right, so let's all right, I'll take a peek here and see what's going on around, and I'm going to let you guys go. Yeah, I'm going to chill at home. I actually have some hamburgers here I'm going to cook, and I got some stuff, But no, it's all good. Look, I spent a lot of years. I was the training coordinator, the special events coordinator, and I ran the Volunteer Firemen's Fund while I was a paid firefighter. And I worked at 3 other departments, and I volunteered at another one. I used to be so busy, and every Halloween we did a haunted walk. Every Thanksgiving we gave turkeys out to the poor people. Every 4th of July we had the big fireworks event in the district. Every Christmas we had the Christmas gift for the poor kids program that we did. Every New Year we had the standby for the fireworks deal. Every Easter, it was Easter at Pepper Goglin's house for the big Easter thing with all the kids. Every holiday, dude. I did every holiday I did for 20 years. Between family and the fire department and everything else. And then I would leave there and go to the sheriff's department because they were shorthanded and they needed help. I've reached the point now where I just sit here and let the holiday go by sometimes. I don't even care. Oh, no problem, Victor. I love doing it. I'm glad you guys are getting something out of it. The numbers are such that I'm going to keep doing it. House explosion in Leander, Texas. Let me take a look. It looks like we do have something going on. Thank you for letting me know. That's so important. All right, yeah, there is. We got live TV stations there. It's like 2 of them are there. Let's see what I can get up for you guys here.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to get more information here. Okay, this occurred in the 2200 block of Hilltop Climb Drive in Leander, Texas. A loud explosion led to immediate evacuations of nearby homes just before 8 p.m. Leander police and fire departments responded swiftly. I figured they would. The Leander Police Department issued a social media alert confirming that evacuations and advising residents to avoid the area while the cause remains unclear. As of the latest, there is no confirmed reports of injuries or fatalities. Investigators are actively looking into structural damage and potential, and if there is potential casualties. Multiple homes were evacuated as a safety precaution. Residents are urged to follow official instructions and stay clear of the area. Authorities are currently examining all possibilities, including gas leaks, accidental ignition, or other causes. No definitive cause has been announced. And that's what you got. That's what we got so far. So I'm gonna endeavor to get you guys some more video here. I'll go ahead and stick this in a small screen. And I'm gonna work on getting some more video. All right, let me change this. Sorry guys, I don't have a producer on the back end tonight, so I'm doing everything myself. Oh, give me a break. Leander, Texas. That's how it's spelled. It looks weird, but that's how it's spelled. Stay with me, guys. I'm working on getting more stuff up here. All right, there we go. We got two shots coming in.
That's looks like the one on the top there showing the damage that the debris from the house has done to neighboring cars. Whew. I'm not sure if any of these are loops, so I'm going to put them up. If they loop, I'll take them back down, but... Oh, you bastard. I like this Streamlabs, but sometimes it is just not intuitive at all the way it does things. Of course, as usual, I'm trying to do a lot more with it than it was ever designed to do. All right, there we go. We got 3 shots now. I'm getting more of them coming up. It's probably, I mean, these usually turn out to be gas explosions. With the damage looked like it was from gunfire. It could have been there. Who knows? I don't know. It looks like a kill shot. I don't think so. They said it's a house. It looks like it's in a neighborhood. I don't think it's going to be worth it, but let's try to see if we've got scanners. Williamson County. Action Creek dashboard. Williamson County, Texas, actions, ad feeds, United States, Texas, Williamson County, nothing. That sucks. Okay, so there's no scanner feeds that come out of that county. I've checked both services. There's just nothing that comes out of there, so it is what it is there. All right, I just added the words live house explosion, Leander, Texas. Let's see if that brings any more people in. The top right feed is a shooting. Okay, that video that you're saying, the right middle one is a shooting. That's the same neighborhood that they're in on the other two videos. You can see it. And also, that video is marked house explosion, Leander, Texas, massive fire and police response. So I know I saw what you did on the windshield there, but I think that was debris damage and not gunshot damage. FBI guy taking a selfie. There you go. Nope, I think all three of these are pretty much related because they've shown that same house with the open garage door on all three of these shots. So we've got 2 or 3 different media outlets here that have stationary tripod cameras set up, and they're just working the scene like that, getting some static shots. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to go back and look at whatever they were showing because I didn't see that. Let me change a few more things here. All right, I'm adding this to our description and everything for this video. The whole changing your meta tags on the fly thing, I thought was stupid, but the truth is, what's stupid is the fact that that it is difficult to do, and you have to find a way or a time or someone else to do it for you. But the good thing is when you change everything like that, it takes effect right away. And the other night, I put in fireworks explosion and all that, and we jumped from 30 viewers up to like 80 viewers, just like that. So it does work. Yeah, they might have shown something else in there. These are aggregating from TV news sources, so they may have shown another scene on there. That's entirely possible from a different scene. Or there could be a shooting involved with the explosion. You never know. Boy, that would really be a complicated mess. I just wanted to check Texas real quick. Yeah, not a small place, Leander, Texas. Let's see where it's at. Fairly centrally located. Population of 59,000. It's just north of Austin, Texas is where this is. And we do have weather moving in. Leander, Texas is right here, guys, on the radar. Right here. And we've got weather moving in. They're going to be dealing with some rain here in the next few hours. Leander, Texas. She better go find her news van before her makeup gets wet. I'll tell you, I wouldn't want that job. Putting makeup on doesn't bother me. I actually need to get a little powder for my forehead. I shine up here all night long. I don't mind that. I've worn makeup for TV. It's not a big deal. But these girls, these young girls, they have to look so perfect all the time. I don't think I could deal with that shit. TV, man, it's not kind. It's kind of a rough business. And if you ain't really, really attractive, it's really a rough business. It's one of the few places that you can go apply for a job and be evaluated on your looks legally. And they will. They're hiring a black woman. They're hiring a brown guy. They're hiring a white woman. They're hiring and they'll even say, like, we want someone that's tall, someone that's thin, someone that has bigger boobs, someone that... They are very particular about what they want. And they hire what they want, just like Hollywood. You know, if Hollywood's looking for a 33-year-old black midget, that's what they're looking for. And they're going to find it, and they're going to hire that person, and that person's going to come and make the movie. Well, it's the same way with TV, believe it or not. TV news. They hire specifically the people they want, for the look that they want, for the makeup that they want on that stage. It's kind of crazy. Blew her shirt half off. Alright, I don't see anything there. Let's see if there's anything else come up on this. I'm surprised we did get these 3 so quick, but we did come up with 3 right away. But that's it. That's all there is. Nope, that's it. Those 3 shots are all we got. But hey, I'm surprised we got what we got, but we got it. If anybody's come in the last few minutes, this is Starship Adventures, live coverage. We come on every evening just about, except Saturdays, and we do live coverage of whatever there is out there. Just a few minutes ago, someone let me know that there was an explosion in Leander, Texas, and so we are now live there. I've checked for scanner feeds. There are no scanner feeds. There's nothing but an amateur radio emergency feed there. I went ahead and put that up, but I'm not hearing anything on it. We have 3 shots coming out of there. I believe one is just a delay of the other one. I'm not sure. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and hold on to this right here. Let me see if I can... Who the hell's that guy? She was getting ready to do an interview, and I set up the audio so I could take a few minutes of her interview so you could hear what's going on. And then some other guy popped up, so I guess he was showing us her video to begin with or something. say it was Austin. I'm checking to see if there's anything anybody else is carrying. Every YouTube video, I gotta have this guy tell me about my air conditioner. He just looks like a crook. Okay, well that's a big zero. All right, I'm going down through the TV stations in Austin to see if anybody's got any live coverage going out on this. It's the weather dude.
Four great dealerships under the same reputable ownership at Naples Dealers.
Yeah, I'm sure. I love how they put my ads on there. Oh, look, it's a non-live recap. Well, all right, well, there we go. The fire is out at this point, it appears, and we're at the point where they need to just, they're in the investigative stage now. They're probably still mopping it up, and they're in the overhaul stage where they're trying to save what they can for the people, and also at the same time begin the probe into what happened. We'll have to figure out what happened. I mean, this is usually these are gas. That's the number one cause of these home explosions. The number two would probably be the production of illicit drugs. There's been a few instances of people making BOMBs and blowing themselves up. Yeah, they had rain earlier, but they've got more coming now. It's almost there. It's just about to them now. So, nothing severe, just some rain. Hey, Pam. What's up? Yes, Gabriella, the thing is, crime scene tape is very inexpensive. They buy big, huge rolls of it for $5. And all crime scene tape is
It's the same plastic they make garbage bags out of, and it's just long strips of it. And it says whatever. You can buy it any color you want, and you can have it say what you want. You can even buy personalized crime scene tape now. A lot of departments even, you'll see them with tape that says, like, Pasco County Sheriff Line, do not cross, and stuff like that. Here they just use generic police line, do not cross. The thing is with that stuff, they're allowed to say, look, this is the edge of the scene, don't come past this. Or they can put up tape, but they have to either tell you or they have to put up tape. So a lot of times on a long scene, the tape is used so that they can free up some of the officers that are holding the perimeter down. That's all. And when I was a cop, we didn't use it that much unless it was a murder or something where we had to keep the neighborhood blocked for hours and hours and hours on end. Now they seem to break the stuff out for traffic stops sometimes. It's kind of crazy. Hey, Pam. There was a home explosion in Leander, Texas less than 2 hours ago, and we're monitoring that on the right 3 screens. The house you're looking at there, I believe, is the neighbor's house. I don't think that's the actual one that blew up. We're looking for info there, but they're down to the point where I don't think anybody was hurt, and I believe they are looking for a cause at this point. Other than that, yep. But yeah, there you go. And there hasn't been much else going on tonight. We've had no tornado warnings in the U.S. It's been a fairly quiet night. Hey, Trisha, thank you very much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yep, I'm here every night but Saturday night. I do take Saturday nights off, but I'm here every night but Saturday night. Tomorrow night, I'm going to have an extended 4th of July show for you guys because a lot of us don't have anything to do tomorrow night. And I don't. My family's out of town. And so I'd like to spend it with you guys. So I'm going to be coming on tomorrow night sometime around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something like that. Well before dark. And we'll be on tomorrow night too. Hopefully I can get some folks in and we'll have a good night tomorrow night. We're going to cover the fireworks. I'm going to have a panoramic camera set up here in my neighborhood. And I'm also going to have cameras from all over the place at some of the bigger fireworks shows around the country. And so our multi-screen tomorrow is going to be all kinds of fireworks shows. It'll be fun. And we'll also be covering breaking news. I'll pull up scanners anywhere there's something going on. Junior, it is a slow news night. That's the one thing I can't do anything about. But I try to make it interesting anyway. All right, say a prayer for the 7 that are still missing at the fireworks plant. I have a bad news, I think, for them. I really don't think it's going to be good news any coming out of there. So our prayers are with them. And let's see what else is going on. I hope that it's a safe holiday. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and our enemies tend to pick days that are either important to us or important to them to attack on. So I'm always a little more weary and cautious on our big holidays and their big holidays. Other than that, no news is good news. You're absolutely right. All right. Last call in the chat room. If there's anything else, please throw it in the chat room. If not, I am going to let you guys go for the evening. I want to thank the 20 or so of you that are still in there, hanging in there with me. Thank you very much. Thank you for the subs I got tonight, the 24 likes. If you haven't thrown a like on there, please do. It makes all the difference in the world, the algorithms, you know. I used to always say algorithms suck, and then after a while you start to realize that algorithms don't suck. I sucked. I had to get better. I had to build my channel. I had to work really hard. I had to be on the air more. I had to make hundreds of videos. I had to do shorts. I had to do longs. I had to do lives, and you have to work at it. And now I'm still struggling with the algorithms, but I understand it better now. The algorithms are there to make sure that only the people that work hard succeed. That's exactly what the algorithms are there for.
so that if you work really hard, then you will beat the algorithms and you will become popular on YouTube, and you'll be able to make a future for yourself on YouTube. And so I don't curse the algorithms like I used to. I understand them now. The algorithm is actually a good thing. It's supposed to be a fair way to allow people to advance through hard work. And I think for the most part it works. I do. All right, good night, everybody. Junior, Brandon, D. Glass, Pam, Gabriella, Ding Dong. Ding, ding. I said ding dong. I am so sorry. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, my God. You could tell I'm tired, dude. I've had like 5 misspeaks in the last 10 minutes. Aquarius, Gabriella. I called you ding dong. I owe you one for that. I do. If you were here, I'd take you to lunch. Oh, man. Oh, sorry about that. All right. And, all right, yep, we're going to do all kinds of cool stuff tomorrow. It's going to be a fun night. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, my name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures. I am live at our studios, Starship Studios in Southwest Florida, where it's a balmy 100% humidity and 86 degrees right now. Yuck. I hope to see you guys on our next adventure down the logger tomorrow night for our special July 4th Independence Day show. We'll see you then. Have a good one, everybody. 7 3s out there.